It's wonderful. What do you think is going to happen today, Martin? Oh, nobody knows. I can't even remember the last time I saw a game this good. Americans will remember. Americans will go back to the finest statistics. The last time a black man scored using his left hand, jumping over a mixed race half Indian, was in 1967 when the okay, people were like, what? It was madness. It's all about action in the sports as well. You know, as much action as possible. It's all about action in America. That's so action focused. You will take the ball away from the other team. They do not give you enough action. I've never seen that in my life. That's a horrible way to bring people up. You go to the other team, you go, hey, you guys, you take the ball. You've got 24 seconds to get the ball in that net. 24 seconds. You don't do it, you're going to give the ball to the other team. And give the ball to the other team. You know about that guy. You try to get past them. That's up to you. Go! 24 seconds later, bang! You got it. You try. All about action. You know? America's different from the rest of the world. And you don't really know how different America is, though, until you get to this one thing. You think you know. When you land in America, in your airports, that's when you know this place is. Yeah, this place is different. So American airports, unlike airports everywhere in the world, which have a certain level of joy and happiness, American airports, they like concentration camps, you know? Just people walking barefoot in single file. Oh, there's no joke. There's even signs that say no jokes. Really? It's insane. You walk through those airports and you have to do things in American airports you don't do anywhere else in the world. You know? You have to take your shoes off. Shoes. Come on. You don't know this. You don't take your shoes off. I'm like, my what? Your shoes, take them off. Why? For safety, sir. I'm keeping them on for your safety, my friend. You don't do this anywhere. I remember flying to Dubai one year, and as we get into the airport, this woman, the American woman, started taking off her shoes and those. I mean, you must understand. When you're in the Middle East as a woman, you're already a sin. And now to be taking your clothes off in public, these guys lost their mind. They were just like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know, what are you doing? It's like, I'm taking my clothes off. I'm taking my clothes off. No, what are you doing? You're like, I'm taking them off. Why are you taking your clothes off? It's like some machine works. Like, no. This is machine. Look at your husband. You don't think you're going to make it. You don't do it anywhere else. When you come out here, you have to take off your shoes. You have to take your jacket off to walk through the mecca to take it. And they're mean about it. They're shouting at you. Take it off. Take it off. You don't know what to take off. You don't take it off anywhere else. You don't know what to take off. You take it off. Take one off. Take it off, sir. Take one off. Take it off now. What? Your clothes? Think of my clothes? And you're standing there, this man shouting at you, trying to get you to take your clothes off. You're like a child in a Catholic church. It's horrible and shit. You're standing there. I mean, I understand the need for security, but they don't need to shout at you. You know, they try to be nice. They were maybe shouting instead of shouting. You know, instead of take it off, they were like, take it off, take it off, take. You'd be like, yeah, woo, security, safe and sexy. They don't. It's a harrowing experience as you come in. The worst is when you have to go to hospital control. Oh, as Americans, you don't feel the pain. As a foreigner, it's a whole different thing. As Americans, you walk into the U.S. citizens' line. They welcome you back like you on some secret mission. Welcome home, sir. You know, when you're a foreigner, you have to wait in a super long line. You know, and then they tease you. The line goes right to the front, and then it comes back. You finally get there, and you have to wait for that. You know, you're standing there, and then like, sir, come on, sir, step forward, sir, step forward, back, behind the line, sir, back, get back, sir, get back. Now you have to answer questions. Horrible, like you don't understand. It's stress, you know. Standing there, no one's getting any of the questions wrong. It's just like school, they'll send you back. You stand there, you have to answer them into the microphone. That's a bit strategically low. Also that you have to bow to the American as you answer every question of his. Questions you feel like you know the answers to. I just handed the man my passport, to which he replied, "Is this you?" Never before have I felt so much pressure to look like myself. It's like, I was younger then. Horrible. He starts threatening the war. It's your first time in the United States of America, sir? Yes. Your first time, sir, is that correct? Yes. Sir, what is the duration of your visit out here? I'm going to be here for 6 months. 6 months, sir? Is that correct? Yes. Sir, what is the purpose of your visit in the United States of America? I'm here for holiday. Holiday, sir? Yes. Which one? My one. Could you elaborate, sir? Holiday. Yeah, what do you mean holiday, sir? You know, like holiday. 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 You mean vacation, sir? Actually, yes, of course. I love Mexican food. I love Mexican people. I don't even know what it is. I think it's just people who have a connection. You know, I don't know. South Africans and Mexicans and something. People from shithole countries. We have this thing. I still can't believe the things Donald Trump says. He's such a. For me, Donald Trump is an emotional paradox. I'm not going to lie. You know, logically, I can process him. Emotionally, I struggle. On the one hand, I will admit I wake up many days terrified of the notion that he's president of the most powerful nation in the world. But I also must admit I wake up many days knowing he's going to make me laugh. Yeah, there's terror and there's joy, and I don't know how to feel. You know what it feels like sometimes? It feels like there's a giant asteroid headed towards the Earth, but it's shaped like a penis. Like, I think I'm going to die, but I know I'm going to laugh. So just look at everything that he does. The world we now live in because of him. Like, you realize we're living through history. You know, this will never happen in our lifetimes again. We're living through a time when we are all learning about the presidency at the same time as the presidency. That's never happened. How wild is that concept? You wake up every day reading the news, and you're like, wow, I didn't know that. And someone at that exact same moment, he's reading the same news going, wow, me too. And nobody knows where it's going to be. Nobody knows what he's going to do. All we know is that he wants his wall. He wants his wall. Donald Trump wants his wall. He needs $25 billion the last time he asked. He needs it from American taxpayers because Mexico's smart. That fell apart real quick. I remember how confident he was at the rallies, people cheering for him. He was like, folks, we're gonna build. We're gonna build a wall, folks. Who's gonna pay? Mexico. And Mexico was like, we ain't paying for shit, man. We might build it, but we're not gonna pay for it, man.
And I don't know if you've been following the journey of the war, but it's probably the best comedy on TV, right? Because now they started building prototypes of the war at the border, right? Because Donald Trump said he wants them to test the war first. I don't know how you do that. And I was like, try again. And because this is the prototype, Donald Trump now has specifications for the wall. He now says he wants the wall to be made out of concrete, but he also needs the wall to be see-through, right? And the reason the president wants the wall to be see-through is because he said he's afraid that drug dealers from Mexico are going to shoot back the drugs over the wall that's going to hit Americans on the head as they walk by. So he needs the wall to be see-through so that Americans can see the drugs coming and catch it. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what a see-through wall is, but at this point, I'm just worried that a contractor is going to come along and trick the president. He's going to take him to the border and be like, there it is, Mr. Trump, your invisible wall. And then just to make sure he buys, he's going to hire a troop of Mexican mimes to be, oh my God, you can't get through it. It works. Like the mind of Donald Trump. Oh, the other idea he had for the wall was he said America should build the wall out of solar panels. That's what he said. He said America should build the wall out of solar panels because that way the wall would generate electricity and pay for itself. Yeah. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that's a good idea. Right? It's a good idea. Unless you know anything about solar panels or the sun or walls. The problem with that idea is that the sun is up. Yeah? We'll agree on that. We're still on the same page, right? Yeah? The sun is up, right? A solar panel wall is not going to work because the wall is like this. So technically it's facing down. So unless you have like a really swaggy sun that's like, yeah, I shot a really low, B, it's not going to work for you. The only way it works is if you take your border solar panel and lean it at an angle to get the sun's rays. But if you do that, now you're just creating a giant ramp for Mexicans to shoot into America. It's like, oh, my God. The mind of Donald J. Trump. The J stands for Jesus. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of self-loathing going on there. And he's always going after someone, right? It's always going after someone. It's not Mexicans, it's Muslims. If it's not Muslims, it's Africans from shithole countries. And that one was my favorite personally, because I am an African. I've shat in a hole. I also liked it because like people came up to me and asked me questions. There was one man that came up to me after the show, really concerned. He was like, Trevor, hey, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah, go ahead, my friend. I said, Trevor, I just want to know when Donald Trump says all these horrible racist things, you sometimes just want to pack it up, leave America, go back to South Africa and escape all this racism. I said, my friend, you don't go to South Africa to escape racism. That's where you go to stock up. Are you kidding me? That's the one thing that reminds me of home. Racism out here. Because we've got tons of racism in South Africa. But don't get me wrong, it's gotten a lot better. When I was growing up, we had apartheid. Apartheid was basically the best racism in the world. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Now you don't feel bad. You're like, oh, racism was the best. No, it wasn't. It was good, but not the best. And I experienced a bunch of racism, and everyone did. I never felt like it was a bad thing, mostly because of my family. My mother was a black woman, also a woman. My father was Swiss from Switzerland. Them being a couple was against the law, and that was a problem for us living together. And so we experienced a ton of racism. And in case you're wondering, yes, Xhosa is one of the languages with the kicks in it, right? Xhosa, but not like in American movies. Just so you know. Yeah, I've seen those movies where they have Africans and they're like, that's not a language. Yeah. Even we watch those movies and we're like, I wonder what they're saying, yeah? Where are they from? I think they're from Cleveland. I didn't go to Zambia though. Fantastic place, Zambia. Went there, this is the place at the time. While I was there, I had a chaperone, already made my trip. His name was Adina, sweet guy. And his job was to get me accustomed to the Zambian culture. Every day he'd give me a piece of information, some more interesting than others. Like one day he looks at me and goes, Chama, you know Zambia is a very, very conservative nation. Okay, yeah. So please, stay away from profanity. You know, okay, I can do that. I assumed he meant swearing, right? But I didn't say anything because I wasn't sure if he meant a person or swearing. I wasn't like, no, because in Zambia people have names like profanity. So that's how I laughed when I met Screwdriver, eh? That's the same way I laughed. Yeah, because you see, in South Africa, we have African names you can translate, like happiness, blessing, hope, those kinds of names, right? But then in Zambia, people give their names, like the children, give their children names of everyday English words, anything. So like table, chair, car, house. Yeah, you see like this, you have to get used to it. It's very hard, but you have to keep a straight face. Which was difficult because I met a mechanic who had sons named Brake and Clutch. And that was not, especially when Brake was running around causing chaos. And his dad was there like, stop it, Brake, stop it, Brake, stop it, Brake. And I was like, hey, stop it, Brake. But you have to get used to it. It's a cultural thing. And so you have to respect it. And the second warning Ali gave you is a stranger. Driving through Lusaka, the capital. I didn't throw back in the car and goes, Chama, you know, here in Zambia, we are a very God-loving nation. Okay, says, yes. So while you are here, don't be gay. So what? I know it can be tempting sometimes, but don't do it, huh? Don't be gay. Don't be gay. I've never been warned of this in my life. Don't be gay. I agree. That'll be gay. Don't be gay. Crazy warning to it. But then I found out why he was warning. Turns out in Zambia, being gay is illegal. If you are found to be gay, you will be arrested and sent to prison for more than 30 years. Yeah. Which is a bit of a weird punishment. When you think about it. I mean, I'm not saying gay guys would enjoy prison. I'm just saying if I was gay, that's not the worst thing you could do to me. Like, you're going to jail. Oh no. Don't be gay. I couldn't believe this. Gay is a crime in Zambia. Which got me thinking, if gay is a crime, that means the police have to monitor it. They actually have to police gay. Yeah. Which means in their police force, they have a gay division. It's a crime. It's a crime. So that means they've got a murder unit, they've got a robbery unit, they've got a white collar crimes unit, and then they've got a gay unit. Huh? Yeah, they've got little G units in their police force. That's responsible for all things gay. That must be the most fun police force to be in the world. Get to go undercover, dress up really nice, get in touch with your friend, let's have a good time. I bet the sergeants there every morning, briefing his detectives. Good morning, detectives. Welcome, everybody. Today we will be launching a sting operation. We have just been informed of the fashion show that will be taking place. And as you know, the gays cannot resist the latest trends. Therefore, we will be in full attendance to apprehend each and every one of them. Let us make sure we are here. Detective Chipua, present. Detective Tebul, present. Detective Mungai, present. I think he's in trouble. How do you police gay? Do they stop you if you look suspiciously gay in the streets? You know? I mean, gay doesn't have a look, but maybe you just got to bounce about you. Just have like a bit of pizzazz, you know? The police pull up there, it's like, woo! You over there! What is the purpose of that flamboyant scarf? Put your hands up! Turn around! Don't tempt me! Don't tempt me! You are going to jail. How do you police gay? Is there roadblocks like for drunk driving? Is there gay roadblocks? Just stopping people in their car? Good evening, officer. Good evening, sir. License, please. Thank you very much, Mr. Stylish. Huh? Tell me, sir, have you been gay this evening? What? Oh, no, no, no. I have not been gay. No, no. In fact, I don't gay at all. At all. I see. Not even one or two? No, no, no. No gays for me. No gays for me. Okay. Then tell me, sir, what is that I can smell on your breath? Is that balls? No, no, no. No. I don't even need chutney. No, no. Ah. So you are not gay? No, not gay at all. Then sir, can you please blow into this? Don't be gay. I was not gay while I was in Zambia, so I had a good time. Went around, saw the people. The highlights of my trip came when on my day off, I asked Ali for suggestions. And he said to me, maybe you should drive around Lusaka, meet some of the people, just have a good time. I said, Ali, I want to do something special. So, okay, well, in that case, maybe you can go to the mall. And if you are lucky, maybe you can ride the escalator. Huh? So what? Yeah, I'm not promising anything. But if you are alien, maybe you can go once or twice. Escalators, I know, mind blowing, huh? I thought he was messing with me. Until I found out people in Zambia go to the mall just to ride the escalators. Seems ridiculous until you understand the backstory. When we were in Zambia, there were only 5 public escalators. 5 in the whole country. The first escalator was built in August. Not August 19, 20, no. You guys remember August? You guys remember? They built their first escalators ever. Yeah. And so now it's all the rage. People go to the mall just to ride escalators. Yeah. But now, I don't want you to picture like some dusty village. That's not what Zambia is. It's a beautiful place. They're developing just like yes, we are. They've got roads, they've got airports, they've got beautiful hotels, stunning shopping malls. They've got everything we've got, even faster internet. They just never had escalators. And now they start building them. And because of that, people go there and spend the day riding escalators. Dads will go home and fetch their kids. Children, we are going to the mall. You know what, Daddy? We do shopping. And you ride the escalators. Yay! We couldn't believe this, so we went to the mall, right? We get to the mall is empty. Escalators are packed. People are standing in lines, going around, doubling back on themselves. There's old people, young people, even couples. There were couples. Guys that actually picked up women by saying, I'm going to take you to the escalator again. Ooh, we are so fancy, eh? Escalators. Some people didn't even know how to ride the escalators. Kids were easy, they just jumped on. Old people were panicking. There was one guy who got on the escalator and was going up. And I guess to compensate for something in his mind, as it went up, he started rolling. He fell down. He was hurt so badly. Oh, it's fantastic to watch. We spent like 3 hours doing this, just watching people riding escalators. And you know what? Our patience paid off. Within hour 3, it was fantastic thing happened. A school brought a class of children to the mall. And their excursion was just to ride the escalators. It was magic. 30 kids, about 5 years old, cutest things, and they little black and white uniforms, and standing there together holding hands, and they were so excited, so they're shining, not from excitement, that's a need. And there's 2 teachers with the children. They grab their hands on either end, and in a long train, they start to march through the mall. And as they do, they start singing at the top of their lungs like little angels. Escalator, 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 oh, escalator, escalator. It's the sweetest thing ever. People are waving at them, smiling. And these kids see the escalators, and they lost their minds. These kids went crazy. They're not holding hands. They start screaming and running around. It looked like a zombie movie or something. It's like they're jumping, but then you see the smiles on their faces. It looks like the end of Sarafina. You're like, what the hell's going on here? These kids are screaming and hurting themselves, they jumping around, doing cartwheels. The teacher can't control. She's panicking, like, yeah, get back, 2x2, 2x2. 2x2 was one of the kids. I didn't know. She's like, 2x2, next to me, sing it back. Other kids are still jumping. She can't control it. There was one fat kid, he couldn't jump, so he just shook himself. Escalator. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. It's like I got in a time machine to a time when escalators were new, brand new and popular. So popular that people were taking pictures of the escalators using their iPhones. Technology, eh? Who even thinks of these things, eh? Can you imagine? Hey, we're in the future now, man. Mechanical moving stairs, huh? What are we going to see next? I don't even know. I wonder how it works. Let me just check it. Siri, how does an escalator work? We don't celebrate our heroes enough. So many of our heroes, we chastise them, we bring them down. It's jealousy, it's hatred, the war. Heroes that we don't acknowledge. Greats. Nothing else in the middle, really good. Nobody else can live up to it. Even the small levels of greatness. Don't have to be far. For instance, how great sign language is. Comes out. Yankees. The man who made it all. He was there. The Nelson Mandela Memorial Service. The service that the whole world is watching. And because of that, the service was translated to everyone all over the world. Translated into all languages, including sign language. And so Yankees was there translating for those who didn't understand. Unfortunately, he also didn't understand sign language. Which is a small problem, a problem that he didn't let stop him. When others see obstacles, he saw an opportunity. People go, he's a con man. He's a player. How could he do something so deceitful? You've got to go, how could he do something so deceitful? That man Yankee showed something so believable to the children. Because he showed that you shouldn't listen to what people say you can or cannot do. If you believe in yourself and you work hard enough, anything is possible. People told me, oh my God, Yankees, you can't do sign language. Let's see about that. Good cheers. He did it. He did sign language to the most powerful people in the world. Every single one of the Yankees was on that stage doing it well. Nobody even suspected it. Nobody. People were just like doing stuff. People asked questions, where did he come from? Did he speak English? The official sign language was given to the government for the last 5 years. Yeah, officially for the last 5 years. And apparently before this, people had complained, but not the complaints that were dead here, so nothing was done about it. And so it just carried on. And now it was here, the biggest event of his life, signing for the world. Signing, making it up in the zone. Nobody suspected. I suspected. I didn't. No, I didn't. Let me tell you what. No. Let me tell you what. Not because I know sign language, but because I know my presidents. And there's one thing that's specific. When Jacob Zuma releases a speech, it's very deliberate man. It's very calm, very measured. Takes his time. The rhythm is the most important thing. And Yankees didn't match his rhythm. I knew there was something wrong. You remember this? Zuma was there, reading Mandela's Wikipedia page, right? And while he was reading, Yankees was doing totally different. The rhythm was wrong. Zuma was there like, and thereafter, Nelson Mandela went to Robben Island for his prison. momentum and to five of the rhythm match. Right. Zuma was on page one, that was on like page 17 or something. It didn't match up at all. It's almost like Zuma was translating sign language for us. That's how slow it was. Or so I haven't read this, guys. It didn't match up. None of it. The judges didn't say the interface of the first 10 thought. These sign language were everywhere. We could ask ourselves questions as well as that. We don't ask enough questions. For instance, nobody thinks of us how to speak every single language in the world. Everything that came from countries everywhere, they spoke in their language. Yankees translated for everyone. Did nobody stop to ask, even for a second? The president of Brazil is standing up there. Nelson Mandela supposed to pay. Nós devemos ser de caixa do Guatemala, o operado deles estava pesado. Nós não sabemos. E aí, pessoas dele. Did no one say, hey, Yankees, you can speak Portuguese? I mean, that's all. Nobody can talk. He didn't sign language for everyone. The ambassador of China was up there. How is he? 저도 이 Nelson Mandela. 나도 있고, 나도 신조에 공부로 받듯이 Yankees don't decide. He just made it up. He made everything up. He did a great job at this. He did a great job. But then, like a true South African, just took it too far. Enough wasn't enough. That's our problem in South Africa. That's what it is. We don't know when to stop. We take it too far. The same thing happens with tenders, all of these things. Guys are stealing houses and everything. I know, guys, I understand you want to steal. I understand this. I understand. But you gotta tender to 18 houses. Steal that. Good now. At least 9 people at houses. Don't steal all the houses. Somebody's gonna notice. And then you can't steal more houses. But no, we want to go into that. We take it one step too far. That's what the Yankees did. You've done a great job. The best fixed finance we've ever seen. You've gotten away with it until the Walker Brown came up to speak. This was a speech. There was no before by the most powerful man in the free world. 90 million people watching this. That's my friend. I have the little bag of tricks. And you call it a day. But yes. If I was Yankees, that's where I would put it. They say, Yankees, next one, who is it? Barack Obama. The whole world is watching this one. I know, sorry guys, sorry. Sorry, my fingers are clipping. Lost my voice, sorry. Oh no, not the Yankees. They're like, Barack is like, I'm there. And he was. Doing sign language. And they found out that while he was doing sign language, he kept on using the same signs over and over again. Right? The few real signs that he actually used. And apparently all he used was 4 things. And those things are also after the real sign language. He was doing this. Right? Which means greetings. Greetings. He kept doing that. Another one he loved doing was circle. Circle. One of his favorites was smoking. Yeah? And every now and again, get a little bit of that. So what he did over and over again. Can you imagine this? Nelson Mandela was before Barack Obama, one of his hearts, I think he was saying Obama. The judges. How's Marcus? Nelson Mandela's man on the show. Throw him Pace. Didn't bring it on with the first one. Wasn't gone. Nelson Mandela's man is beyond that. He's a legacy. A legacy I can never aspire to be, but we can all look towards. For me, Nelson Mandela, show. Sometimes in life, you don't know the hard way. You gotta say the things that matter. And always remember to do what counts. I could never be an Elspeth. You guys know how horrible it must be. This is a deaf person watching that speech. Imagine what it must be like as a deaf person watching that movie. Yeah, because just watching the hello, hello. What? What are you talking about cooking? Why are you talking about cooking? What are you talking about cooking? What are you talking about cooking? Why are you talking about hello? Why are you what the hell? What the fuck, man? This guy, what's going on? This is the worst thing I've ever done anymore. This is horrible. Conflict. What do you want to finish? Conflict, man. This speech must be ridiculous. By the way, that's only the second time I've ever told a joke about it. Only a second. I told one joke when I was starting out. I believed shouldn't get to not say that people it's the right thing. I never did it again until one day when I left church. I got asked to do a show in Sun City. To a show, Sasha was organizing a getaway party for the South African Paralympic team. So they invited me to travel with them to do a show to perform for the African Paralympic. I would like, oh, you forgot. You forgot that that's the name we gave our Paralympic team. Not the nickname, that was our official name. We had Amapogopogo, Amana Bafana, Amapogopogo. We called our Paralympic athletes Amapogopogo, which means the broken things, a bunch of crocs. That is the worst thing you can call a disabled person ever. Amapogopogo. That is what we do. You can't Amapogopogo. That's probably what Reba said to Oscar that time. That's the only thing I can think of. Don't you come Amapogopogo? So anyway, I'll do the show for Amapogopogo, right? And because I'm there, I did no jokes about disabled people or anything that could be seen as offensive. Nothing like this. And after the show, I beat some of the guys and he was yelling. And one of the athletes came up to me. I'll never forget this again. He came up to me and he was partially deaf. He was very flat. Hey, come on, come on. Hey, man, how are you? Hey, how you doing, buddy? How are you? Good to meet you. Yeah, I'm great to meet you. Thank you. I'm a big fan. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I love your stuff. You know what? You have stuff like this. Sometimes I don't get it. So I'm actually, I'm good at that. I was like, oh, I didn't know you. Yeah, I didn't even know. I just looked at an accent. That's cool, man. That's nice to meet you. He said, yeah, that's cool. I didn't have a question. You don't know. Yeah, go ahead. How come you never moved on about thank you? I'm sorry, what? I don't tell jokes about it. He said, yeah. How come you never told jokes about thank you? What do you mean? So when you tell jokes about everyone, poor people, black, white, everyone. But I'm telling you, why do you tell jokes about dead people? Why? So you never heard me tell a joke about a dead people. Dude, something not like that is too big. Something, you're an idiot. So no, no. Like, I don't make jokes about dead people. Yeah, why not? Because I can't do. I shouldn't make jokes about dead people because if I did that, then dead people would be hurt. They would be offended. Why would we be hurt? Not like we don't know we can. I never thought, I thought I was protecting you. Protecting us from what? From nothing. We don't know what to do. We know we're different, but we're doing the same thing. It's like, yeah, but you know what's funny? You say I must make jokes, right? But even if you're cool with it, you'll be with it. Yeah, they'll compare it with help. That's what people do. They get sent it for other people. They'll be the ones going, oh, Trevor Noah's an asshole. You make jokes about that. No. Why do you care? You're a comedian. Fuck it up. You know, it's easy for you to make the joke. The joke the funny people about the number one. So they get, you know, you say that, but then what do I do? They complain. Dude, they complain. You know what? What do you do? What do you do? And then, if they complain, what do I have to? What do you mean? Like, they're not listening. One of the most fascinating things I read about recently, one of the most fascinating places, was a place called Rochester, New York, where genuinely, this blew my mind, where they had a city which was basically dedicated to rehabilitating people who had escaped slavery, right? So black people who had escaped the South, got into the North, were rehabilitated at this place. Frederick Douglass wrote many of his works there. The suffragette movement kicked off there. It's a powerful little place. And like I was reading the stories, and what they would do is slaves would escape from the South, they'd make their way to the North, they'd get to Rochester, the Underground Railroad would get them there. And then they would rehabilitate, they put them on boats and send them to Canada so that they could live free. And I was like, that's like a fascinating story for two reasons. One, reminds me that there were a lot of good people, white people out there. A lot of time I get angry at white people, and I'm like, oh, this is good ones, calm down. And the second part of it that was amazing was that they convinced black people to get back on boats. I think that's one of the most amazing stories I've ever read. It's like, do you know how convincing you'd have to be to convince someone who's just escaped slavery? Think about that for a second. Somebody's just escaped slavery. They've made their way there finally. Right? They wake up after one night of free sleep. And they walk out and it's just like, hey man, I just want to say thank you so much for everything you did for me, man. And you know what, my friend, nobody deserves to live the way you live, man. I'm glad we got you out. Thanks so much. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, my friend. Okay, all we got to do now is get you some paperwork, get you cleaned up, and put you on a boat, get you to Canada, and you can live a free life. And everything's going to be better. Oh, I'm sorry, hold up. Could you come again? What did you say? Oh, I know the paperwork thing is weird, but we got to get you some identification. No. You said something about a boat? Yeah, we're going to get you on a boat so you can get to Canada. We don't do boats. No, well, I don't know if you know our history, but me and my people, we took a cruise one time, that shit didn't go so well. So, yeah, we got to find another way to get to Canada, if you don't mind. But the boat is the best way for us to get there from Rochester. Yeah, it might be the best way for y'all, but we gonna walk. Hell, we can run real good. We can run, and we ain't getting on no boat. My friend, you gotta get on the boat. Man, I ain't gotta do shit. I just got free. Imagine if I get on that boat on the outside of the same place. What they gonna say to me? Why you get on that boat? Because you was real nice. Oh, hell no. I ain't getting on no boat. You gotta get on the boat, though. You're free now. You gotta get over this. Look, man, maybe one day in a few hundred years, one of my descendants named Kanye West will be over this shit. I ain't over it right now. So I ain't getting on no boat. We gotta get you on the boat, damn it. I'm not getting on no boat. And that was the day the phrase "nigga please" was invented. My wife returned and like, please, I need you on that boat. That story was passed down generation to generation. Black person to black person, free man to free man. So that white man got down on his knees and he said, good please. Please, please. I ain't never heard that phrase before in my life. Please, please. I know that's probably the phrase Barack Obama used at least once in the White House. At least once. Like, Mr. President, do you think Trump is because of you? Do you think you caused this? Please. Just one time. One time I know he used this. Actually, I had the pleasure of meeting President Obama while he was still in office. Probably one of the craziest experiences I've ever had in my life. Yeah, came out of nowhere. Came out of nowhere. I was at the Daily Show, I was in my office, and I got a phone call from the administration. And someone on the other end was like, "Hi, Trevor, would you like to interview the President of the United States in the White House?" I was like, "Do you ask stupid questions?" He's like, "Of course I want to meet the President of the United States. Are you serious?" And the day finally came. Went to DC with my TV crew, and they set us up in a room which is literally opposite the Oval Office. Put all our cameras in place. They just popped in behind us, scared the shit out of everybody. Yeah, because it's a secret door, but they don't tell you again for safety, right? So we're staring at that door, and all of a sudden we're like, "Hello!" I was like, "Ah!" But I had a great time in the interview with him. He was really, really kind to everyone in the room. And we turned off the cameras, and I promise you, he became even nicer. We just had a conversation. I thought he was going to leave. He's president of the United States. He'll go do something. And he just chilled for a bit, you know, and spoke as human beings, and it went really well until he turned to me and he said, "Trevor, you know, I got a show I'm doing in a few weeks. But maybe you want to pop by and perform if you don't mind." So, Mr. President, I would be honored. You just let me know when and where. What's the show going to be first? Huh? So, "Well, Trevor, I'm doing a little thing for my aides. And maybe you'd want to be there." I said, "I would love to. Thank you." I'm sorry, I should for what? I said, "For my aides, Trevor." I said, "You have aides?" And then he explained what he meant. And I wanted the earth to swallow me whole. Because I had just looked at the President of the United States and asked him if he had AIDS. And you know what the worst thing is that he was nice to me as well? Because I said that, and then he explained it, and I was like, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Greer, I didn't mean it. I don't even know why I thought this is like," he said AIDS, and I'm like, "The AIDS." You know, because here's the thing, in my defense, right, I get it now. He means AIDS as in the White House aides, the people who help the president. I get it now. But in my defense, where I'm from, AIDS is some other shit that doesn't help anybody. No one in Africa is walking around like, "Let me introduce you to my AIDS," huh? So now I'm frazzled. I'm like, "Mr. President, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that. You don't have AIDS. You didn't have AIDS. There's nothing wrong with having AIDS. Those people, it's really cool. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm so sorry." He's like, Trevor, calm down. Trevor, calm down. I was like, "So sorry, Mr. President." I was like, "I shouldn't have said I'm probably the dumbest person you've ever met." Mr. President, he's like, "No, Trevor, calm down. I'm the dumbest person you've ever met." He's like, "No, Trevor, it's not true. I'm not Trump." Yeah. So smooth. You feel the same. It's famous, you know, people treat you like things. It's not saying weird things. Strangest things. People say, Jenna, well done on everything, eh? Congrats. But you're going to America. Don't forget us, alright? Don't you forget us. I don't even know who you are. People would say the weirdest things to me. You know, the number one thing people would say to me, number one thing, not good luck. It's hey, Trevor, good luck over there, but whatever you do, don't forget your accent, alright? Yeah, please, don't put a Charlize on us, okay? You keep your accent and make us proud. Everyone said this. Trevor, bro. Yeah, Trevor, no. Yeah, massacre. Hey, man, you make us proud, no? Yeah, man, you doing big things for us, man. Get out the fight, man. Don't use your accent, no? Don't use your accent. Now, when you come back from the States, when you come back talking Friday, okay? Please, bro. If you lose your accent, don't come back. Just threaten me. What does that mean if you lose your accents? How do you lose your accent? People make it sound like you'll be walking down the street and there's another blue, you know. My accent! Where's my accent? Oh, hello. How do you lose your accent? I'm stressed now. The I don't want South Africans to think I'm not South African. I don't think I've forgotten something. This is my home. I'm stressed coming home. I'm in the plane, flying back to Johannesburg. The whole time I'm just thinking, don't lose your accent, Trevor. Don't lose your accent. Don't lose your accent. Accent. Don't accent. 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 By the time I landed at Orange, I was losing my mind. I like walked in arrivals, the woman was there, customs, welcome back to South Africa, I said. I was like, yes, I'm there. Some old traveler. Nothing changed. Crazy. Because I love accents. I really love accents. I like learning languages. So obviously accents are a byproduct of that. I've learned over time, if you can't learn a language, an accent is a great way to communicate with someone in their own language. I was trying to bridge the gap. The thing is, you have to learn the accent in the right way. When you speak to someone in their accent and you do it the wrong way, you might come across as racist. You have to be very careful about this. White people in South Africa often fall into this trap. It happens at petrol stations quite a bit. See people driving in with their friends, talking normally, sitting in the car. So I mean, if people don't understand the office should be out, it should get HR just take that, and it's going to be great here. Trying to make sure. I'm sorry, hold on. Hello, Baba. Hey, shop man. Please put Lapo full tanky, eh? 95 unheated, yeah. Also check our tires, eh? Pressure, pumpy, not too much, eh? 2.2, okay? Yeah, good choppy, yeah, sharp, thank you, boss. Don't do that. He's a grown man. He been petrol his entire life. He knows what you want. Just talk to him like a normal human being. This thing people don't understand. Speak to him like a normal human being. I used to get so angry. Whenever I see white people changing their accent when they talk to me, I get so angry. It's like, all white people racist? Is that what it is? Oh, racist, though? And then I know, life taught me not to be so quick to judge. I learned a valuable lesson. I was driving to Gold Reef City one day. Into the backstage area. The security guard came up to the group and he's like, hey, how are you, sir? Is your name on the list? I said, yes, sir. How are you, Baba? My name's Trevor. He's like, okay, Trevor. I said, no, Trevor. He's like, oh, sorry. Trevor. I said, no, Trevor. And now my friend who was irritated, he just leans over me and he's like, hey, Papa, it's Trevor. He's like, oh, Trevor. Why you don't talk properly? And then I understood. I finally understood what white people have been trying to do. I see you're trying to communicate more effectively. You're trying to engage somebody, but understand this. When speaking to somebody in an accent, the number one rule to understand is an accent is not a measurement of intelligence. An accent is just somebody speaking your language with the rules of theirs. That's what an accent is. So don't speak down to them. Don't patronize them. Speak to them the way you would to yourself. Just try and learn the accent. That's what it is. It's just another accent. Yeah. And I know them. I spend all my time learning accents. I try. I love it. I learn in restaurants. That's a safe place to start. Learn the read off the menu. Try and pronounce the words correctly. I was inspired by French restaurants. When I go to a French restaurant, I was fascinated. The fact that people would order food in French accent. I never understood why. Because they don't do it in any other restaurants. Only in French restaurants, people walk in and then change their accent when they order. When they're talking normally, it's a wonderful thing. You really going to say this. You understand it. You have to. How do you say? I will have a bottle of water for the table, please. And then let's start off with Sauvignon Blanc, please. Yes, and we definitely for main gonna have the filet mignon. And for dessert, we're gonna go with the creme brulee. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm gonna love it. Why are you doing that? I didn't understand. I was like, why? Because it's not like the French. I'm gonna return the favor. There's no French people sitting in our restaurants in South Africa looking at the menu like, for the table, some stuff the portion, share something, no, okay. Could we please have one serving of the boerewors? That's not gonna happen. It was a Sunday morning. I was in bed. It was early in the morning, like 9 or 10. And the phone rings. And it's my baby brother using the phone. Named Isaac. That's the phone. Hello?
Hello, hello, Chema.
Hey, what do you want?
How are you?
Fine, thanks.
I'm also fine, thank you.
Fine, thanks, and how are you, Isaac?
I'm fine, thanks, and how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
It's a pleasure. Chema, are you busy?
Yeah, sort of. Why?
No, but mom's been shot.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, mom's been shot and you're at the hospital. Can you come?
Mom's been shot. What do you mean? Okay, yeah, of course I can go. Okay, which hospital? Tell me. He's taking like for his own good. He's too like, can you come? Like, what? I just want to shut mom into my schedule. Just find coffee at 2 and then PlayStation at 1. Okay, mom, we're trying. Come on, can I come right now? Anything. Trying to jump out of bed. I'm running around. I'm trying to put my clothes on. Some things are backwards. I don't even notice. I don't even care. Grab the car keys, but I'm looking for the car keys. Running around there, losing my mind. I jump into the car, into the street. As soon as I get out the gate, it's going to start coming. Just they try to move it's I'm driving, I'm trying to hold it back, but then I get to the traffic light, nobody's red, and I just get it out. It just comes up. No, window, no. Hey, no. No. Driving to the hospital like a madman. I get there, jump out the car, my brother standing in the emergency section. I see him outside. He's just standing there, nothing happened. Isaac, mom's getting shot. She's inside. Okay. Mom got shot, not me. Oh, that's not what I'm saying, you idiot. Whatever, I'm coming back. I'm running inside. My mom's in the prep area. All the doctors are standing around me. No, like they set the bar really high. I was shocked. I was like, what the hell? Sorry, that was inappropriate. What's happening here? Sorry, you need to leave. I said I was sorry. Come on, this is what's happening. Like, no, you can't be here. Please, whatever. Okay. Like, outside. The nurse comes. Okay, now, just know what you want to stabilize right now. And I said, my wife? Yes, that's Mrs. Miller, right? Yes, that's my mom. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. She's cool, but have you seen the girls? I can show you the picture. Oh, I'll show you the pictures after. What's going on? She's like, okay, Mr. Miller, the mom's just stabilized. She's not really not surgery. She's shot in the head, and she's been shot in the lower back. So this is very serious. Yes, it is. So what's happening? We just found out that she doesn't have medical. She's not seeing medical. My mom always had it. Oh, now it turns out she canceled it a few years ago. I didn't know this. She canceled it. You know those people. I just never get sick. I never get sick, Trevor. I never, ever get sick. I don't know why I have this. I never get sick. Yes, but you think of yes. Rush to the hospital, no medical aid. So I said to the nurse, well, what does this mean? She said, well, this means we're going to have to put her back in the ambulance and send her to a public hospital. But she's bleeding now, and you can't say, I'm sorry, so that's what we can do. She's going to go to the hospital. Probably a good place to go. But now what's happening is this misadministration of funds. Like money's going missing, don't know what's happening, they don't provide equipment. I'll picture that's going to fix my mom. There's the doctor. Give me a scalpel. You understand that? Okay, brilliant. At least it's a shifting. Okay, let's try something. I'm stressed. She said, well, what do we do without medical aid? There's nothing. So what if I give you the money? She said, well, you don't know how much it costs. So at least fix your car and then we just work for it. So we'll take my card. Here's my credit card. Very expensive. It's my mom. It's my mom. use the money, go. She goes, it's expensive. It's my mother. I realized all of this is just a thing my brother saying, and you guys. She's like, hey, Isaac, tell me why, man. You good boy?
Can I come to your house and play PlayStation later today?
Hey, you ask me about PlayStation, your mama should be shut. You can't be asking me about what the hell is wrong with you, stupid child. You know, you've never got a PlayStation, you've never no PlayStation ever in your life, ever. Go away. Go sit down and think about what you just PlayStation you're gonna ask me. Because you're asking about PlayStation. No, she comes back, she's like, it's not, this is 900 rand, for some black sauce. Wait a minute. This is my mom. Use the money. Go. She goes away. She comes back and says, no, we need 2,000 rand for some extra. This is my mom, not a pair of jeans. Use the money. Go. She goes away. I'm like, my mom's gonna die. That's what the question is. My mom's gonna die. My mom's gonna die. That's what I'm saying. And I say it. My brother hears me. He starts crying. But Isaac, I'm sorry. Are you okay?
I'm very okay. You should have never gonna play PlayStation ever in my life. And now I'm playing Need for Speed and now I'm playing PlayStation. I'm like, you stop crying about that. You have no right to cry. You hear me? Shut up. Stop crying. You can't cry about this. You shut up. Now some woman comes out. She knows my mom's being shot. Now she starts telling my brother not to cry about my mom. She just gets involved. She's like, hey, you let him cry, okay? You let him cry. Some people express their pain in different ways. You let him cry. I'm like, I will not let him cry, lady. I will not let him cry. Many kids grow up without one, okay? This is not a it's fine. Like, you should go play the book or something. It's not a time to cry right now. What the hell? You spoil your kids. That's your problem. You should take it away from them so that they can learn about that. You go shut up. Already, shut up. I'm telling them this. The nurse comes back and says, no, we're ready for surgery. But you'll do the surgery. She says, but sir, I'm just very expensive. I see you in surgery days. I'm like, hey, what is expensive? This is my mother. She's saying, anyway, like 20,000 rand. My mom all the way to like 500,000 rand. No, but she's still there. I mean, she's like, what, 66, 67? It's almost finished. I mean, you know, even she says she's old. I mean, you know, you said the bullets in the head and the hand is finished. You know, now that money we need to pay for the funeral and we need to buy spawns for everybody. This guy needs a PlayStation. So we need to go in the other way. Use the car, just use the car. Plus, this guy going to the hospital, money to credit card, debt for years, and the person dies. The person dies. When they die, the doctor doesn't give you money back. No, he doesn't. Because he tried, and that's all he has to do. You get there, the doctor, did you win? Wah, wah. Your money's gone. That's what I was stressed about. But the most amazing thing happened. Turns out, my mother wasn't that simple. It was a miracle. The aspirin didn't do much damage. Because my parents did. The head bullets didn't hit anything right, other than the head. But it missed her spinal cord, missed the nerves, didn't touch the brain, went right through, missed the eye, hit the eye socket, and so disrupted. And what it did was it cut in her nostril, hit my side, and the bullet went out through it. Which means she had to have an intense
Sorry.
recovery.
Sa likod. Gano'n kalaki?
Fantastic. Because that means you were in 24,000 rand. I mean, and she's alive, yes, but the bill was only 24,000 rand. This is great, really great. The 25 was my cutoff. So, you laugh, but that's how much I've covered.